Hello and welcome to this morning's Liverpool news roundup here on Anfield Agenda. My name is Conor. I'm going to take you through all of the quotes from Arne Slot's press conference ahead of the Aston Villa game tomorrow night, along with some insights on whether Arne Slot is truly at risk of losing his job at Liverpool, and a little bit around the Opta supercomputer predicting the final result of the Premier League, which was quite interesting to read because it's a little bit different than you would expect. So please do hit the subscribe button if you're new, hit the like button, and let's get into it. We'll start off with the injury updates then. So we did get an update on Ryan Gravenberch, who trained yesterday and should be fit to return to the squad against Aston Villa. Whether he will start or not is another thing, but it does seem like he will be fit to play at the very least. He said on Alexander Isak and Curtis Jones, they did not train and they are 99.9% are not in the squad, which is disappointing to hear. Like, we were hoping that maybe we'd see Isak back, maybe Curtis Jones will be coming back, because it's not really clear exactly what is wrong with Curtis Jones. So hopefully these two injuries are not ones that kind of rumble on. Hopefully we will see them back on the pitch soon, but definitely not good news to see that they're 99.9% ruled out, because you will be hoping they at the very least will be back in contention for a game. So yeah, worrying signs on that. We know Isak can be injury prone. Let's hope it's not an extended thing. There was reports last week that possibly he could be facing surgery just for like a short-term loss, long-term gain for Liverpool with that groin issue he seems to have. So yeah, hopefully we will see them back on the pitch soon, but not good news to see that they have essentially been ruled out for the weekend. Arne continued then speaking about injuries. He said, "We handle the situation as it is. Alex Isak, let me use as an example, pre-season was inside the season. People ask why he plays, otherwise I have to play Hugo every game. Both strikers, Owen Hargreaves showed me, both played 34 games last season. We play around 60 over here. So I need Alex having as many games as he can. And that has been something with him and a few others, Frimpong, Bradley. If one is out, one has to play more, hence Soboslai at right back more. That has been something for every team, so it's not an excuse, but it was a bit different than last season. Last season they all had 1 year Premier League experience as a minimum, they stayed fit. Now some have to play more than you want them to, but it is just the situation as it is. We have enough to play the games, but I have to take care of a few of them. Why I made the decision not to play 7 or 8. I mean, it does make sense, like you said, like some of the players coming into the league will be adapting to the physicality, obviously, the likes of Frimpong, Wirtz. We do have some players coming in then, like Kirkes, Isak, who should be used to the intensity, but maybe not used to playing, like you said, like upwards of 50, 60 games. So it is frustrating because we keep hearing about how the squad is too thin and we don't have enough players and stuff. And then he's talking about injuries and all. It's just like, it just sounds like excuses in all honesty, because like we knew this was going to happen and we were told that we had a squad, or we're building a squad to compete in 4 competitions, and then we basically throw away the Carabao Cup. So I understand the point he's trying to make, but I just don't think it makes sense with what we're actually seeing being done and the decisions being made. So yeah, a bit frustrating on that one. He continued then by saying, I am happy with the team and convinced by the strategy, but not all of players had a proper pre-season or have been injured. So when 3 or 4 are injured, you go back to 15 or 16 players. I am convinced 20 is enough, but we are struggling to keep them fit for obvious reasons. But like, is that not a contradicting point in itself? Like, he says 20 players is enough, and I'm sure 20 fit players is enough. But you're always going to have 3 or 4 players injured, so you're probably looking at 16 or 17 players at most at all times. So I think he's kind of contradicting himself there, really. Like, he says 20 is enough, but then says for obvious reasons we won't have 20. He's not kind of going back over his own point there and saying you won't have 20 players available. So that doesn't even make sense. So yeah, weird one on that one as well. Do let me know in the comments below what you make of the comments around the injuries and stuff. Like I said, I can understand the argument he's trying to make, but I don't really buy it as such. I think it is a bit of an excuse, but yeah, maybe I'm reading this wrong. Please do let me know what you think. Slot was then speaking about, like, would he tweak the system to be a bit more defensive, or just tweaking the system in general to find results. And on tweaking the system to be more defensive, he said, it goes against my beliefs, but I have won games in the past against my beliefs, like City away. I would be more than open to adapt in certain situations. The thing that gives me the most confidence is the quality of the players we have and the amount of chances they are creating. This will lead to these players scoring more goals than we have done. And like, I agree on that point. Like, fair enough. I do think the goals will come back and we'll start scoring more goals. And essentially we will start winning games again. But the defensive issues are the really big worry. Like, I get the point, we will get back to scoring 2, 3, 4 goals in a game, but we can't be conceding even 1 goal every game. We should be keeping clean sheets, and we should never really be conceding more than 1 or 2, in all honesty. Which I don't know off the top of my head how many goals we've conceded this season, but there's been a hell of a lot of games where it's been 2 or more. So if we can get that sorted, I think that's the biggest issue, because like the manager said, the amount of talent up front that we have, we will start scoring goals again, but it's down the other end of the pitch is the important thing. And at least he said he is open to adapt in certain situations, but it should be a tweak for the entirety of the season. Whatever the system we're using right now is just not working, so need to find out how to be more defensively stable and just solid, because like I said, the more clean sheets we can keep, the more wins we'll get, the more confidence we'll get, and yeah, like we just have to sort it out. Like the goals will come back, but we need to stop conceding so many. Arne was then asked about his own contract. We've seen some reports during the week that contract talks had been put on hold, which would make sense to be fair. Like given the run of form, neither the club would want to give him extra years, nor would Arne want to enter into negotiations off the back of those results, because he's not really in a strong position to ask for more money or certain conditions, is he? So makes sense to be fair. But on that, he said, "The last question I was expecting. My focus is getting Liverpool back in winning ways. Contract talks, if they are even there, we never speak about this here, so let's start winning again, my main focus." And that's pretty much what you would expect him to say, in all honesty. Like, he's not going to start talking about his contract negotiations in a press conference the same way he wouldn't talk about a player's contract negotiations. That's a behind the scenes thing, in fairness. So I can see why he'd go with that answer, but like, it has to be on his mind. Like, he's coming up now to the point where he should be signing a contract at this point if he is going to be the long term manager of this football club. Like, he has, what, 18 months left on his contract now, and I'm sure after 5 games he was thinking, grand, we'll get contracts sorted in the next few months. I am here for the long stay. We're doing brilliant. But now, like, the last 6 or 7 results have just been, yeah, it's all over the place, really. So I'm sure it is playing on the back of his mind, but yeah, I wouldn't really expect him to give an answer any different to what he did there, in all honesty. So let me know on that one. Like, would you be giving him a new contract at this point? I personally would be holding off for a few months just to see if the results start to come back. I think, like, if we start getting back up to where we should be by around Christmas time, then maybe you start to look at extending his contract again. But I think at this current moment, it would be a little bit foolish from both sides to sign a new contract, because, like I said, Arne wouldn't be getting the most out of the contract from his side, and the club would be committing to a man who has lost 6 of the last 7 games. So yeah, let me know on that one. We also had BBC's chief football writer Phil McNulty speaking about Arne Slot's position at Liverpool as well. So he is the Liverpool fan himself, and he opened up on Slot's situation while answering questions from the BBC readers. He said, "Slot is under the same pressure as every Liverpool manager, and that is the pressure to win games. Pressure for his job, not a chance. Slot won the title in his first season after succeeding Jurgen Klopp, and while he needs wins as quickly as possible, Liverpool is not the sort of club to panic, even if the next sequence of results go badly. Slot, however, still has plenty of credit in the bank, and Liverpool is a calm club internally, not given to hasty, panicky decisions, certainly not when it involves a manager who won the Premier League last season. I would agree, however, that they need to show signs of becoming more resilient and balanced, because I think they are a dysfunctional soft touch at the moment, and Hugo Ekitike apart, their big signings have not yet delivered." And I think he's hit the nail on the head with that, in all honesty. Like, I think I'm getting to the point now where, like, I'm sliding over to the point of, if Liverpool decided to get rid of Arne Slot, I wouldn't be shocked or outraged. I'm getting to the point now where I'd understand the decision. I'm not getting anywhere near the point of where I'd be like calling for his head every week or pushing him out the door. Nothing like that at all. Like, while he's here, he has my full backing. So I do think Phil McNulty is probably correct on this too, that he probably will get the full season, and I think Liverpool will be, like, slightly worried by the results, but I think, like he said, they're not the type to panic, they're not the type to make hasty decisions. So I'd imagine Slot will get the full season regardless. I think they will back the manager, and like you said, yeah, they don't make hasty decisions. So I think that's probably correct. That's probably not what a lot of people want to hear, but he probably is fairly spot on with that assessment, in fairness. And on the last point there in particular, like, the big players do need to step up. Like, they need to settle in and actually start playing as a team, because we just look so disjointed. And if the likes of Veers, Ekitike, Isak, Frimpong, Kerkez, if all these players settle in and start playing well, I'm sure the team will up a level as well. And the more they play together, the more we will get better. The more we get back into good habits and a good rhythm of winning games. So yeah, a big part of this is getting them players firing and keeping them fit as well, in Alexander Isak's case, and Frimpong, of course, who's now out for the next 6 weeks, which isn't helpful. But yeah, I think Phil McNulty hit the nail on the head with that one. Whether you agree with it or not, it probably is how the club is looking at it. So please do let me know what you think on that one. I wanted to finish today's video then with Opta's latest supercomputer predicted Premier League table. So I won't go through the full table. I'll have it on screen if you want to have a look at it. But they have Arsenal winning the title, which isn't an outrageous guess, to be fair, but they have them winning on 80 points, which seems low, in fairness. And they have then Man City and Liverpool tied second and third on 69 points. And then Chelsea in 4th and Villa 5th, both on 60 points. Like, 60 points for Champions League spot, that seems very low. Like, fair enough, I think with the way results are going, Arsenal winning the league by 10 or 11 points isn't out of the realms of possibility if they continue to stay the way they are, and we continue to fall behind and City don't really catch up. That's not inconceivable, but 80 points for a title win and 60 to get into the Champions League, that seems very low. At the far side of the table then, they've predicted that Nottingham Forest, West Ham and Wolves will go down. Again, not a completely outrageous prediction. I think Wolves and West Ham in particular definitely are very, very likely to go down. Nottingham Forest maybe stay up, but again, not great times at that club at the minute, so not an outrageous prediction, but I just found that interesting to see that they had Liverpool catching up with Man City, but only on 69 points, and then Arsenal winning by 11 points with 80. That's surely unheard of. Like, if that does happen, it probably won't. Like, we've seen these supercomputer predictions all the time, and they're always bollocks, but they are just interesting to read. So please, like I said, I'll have that on screen if you want to pause and have a look at it more closely. But yeah, I just found that interesting. That's all from me anyway. Like I said, please do hit the subscribe button, hit the like button before you head out, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very soon.